So my name is Jack Golden. This is my organizational design, structure, and change presentation. Bright Healthcare was founded in 2016 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The idea emerged from passing the Affordable Care Act, creating cost share reduction subsidies. Cigna Health originally invested $750 million into Bright Health, and within their first year, they were valued at $1 billion. Bright Healthcare is active in 17 states and has generated upwards of 1 million memberships across all markets. Bright Health is now publicly traded, is recognized among the elite health insurance companies, and is currently valued at $12 billion. Fortune magazine uses 8 dimensions to rank the top companies in the world every year. The 8 dimensions are innovativeness, quality of management, long-term investment value, social responsibility to the community and the environment, people management, quality of products and services, financial soundness, and wise use of corporate assets. There's also a 9th dimension foreign companies are graded by, effectiveness in doing business globally. For Bright Health, we have one underperforming dimension, and that is financial soundness. We will need to raise additional capital in the coming year or be forced to seek bankruptcy protection. In June of 2022, we had $135 million cash available. But by the end of quarter 2, we burned through $220 million. At this point, we will need to raise $500 million to get us through 2023. The amount of money we spent on claims, regulations, and essential business functions is unsustainable, and our strategy needs reevaluation. There are many starting ramifications Bright Healthcare will be facing. First and foremost, as a healthcare company, we have responsibilities of real lives. With a member population of 1 million, many will suffer from rate increases and possible loss of coverage if we do not seek financial sustainability. The second ramification will be the systematic damage to the ACA sector. If Bright Healthcare were to either dramatically increase rates or go bankrupt altogether, the subsidies would have to be reconsidered at the federal level. This would affect prices for all members over all carriers and damage pricing strategies for all Silver CSR insurance plans. Finally, the most significant consequence we face if issues are not resolved would be bankruptcy. If Bright Health goes bankrupt due to the lack of financial stability, there will be millions of dollars in claims that will not be paid out. Bright may face greater civil and criminal liability scrutiny if claims go unpaid. Bright Healthcare has an organic structure. In most cases, startup companies such as Bright have a less rigid design to their hierarchy, allowing room for adjustment and change as the company needs it. Internal forces such as staffing and rapidly changing technology play a role in the organic structure of Bright Health. The more prominent player here is the external forces. The main external force for any ACA healthcare company is politics. The very existence of Bright Healthcare relies on the continuation of the Affordable Care Act. The organization lacks efficiency in being financially sound from overspending and not having limits for markets or partnered co-ops. This has led to significant layoffs and a call for a structured change. The culture in the organization has become one of avoidant conflict. Leadership has gone unchecked in their business decisions, and members of accounting have failed to share their point of view on sustainability. Conscious capitalism is a philosophy that keeps the focus of the business on growth and profitability while striving for social responsibility. We must consider how our resolution will affect the 4 principles of conscious capitalism. First, by avoiding bankruptcy, we serve a higher purpose. We know we are responsible for paying our members who have spent a premium and trusted us with their medical expenses. The higher purpose here is to bring the human factor to the forefront of our work and remember that there is much more than just monetary risk, but more importantly, human risk. This ties directly into the second principle, which is stakeholder. Everyone is impacted by our company's finances, from stakeholders to employees to consumers. By keeping our finances in a sustainable state, we benefit with all the rest of the stakeholders. The members and employees of Bright Healthcare look to the leaders when a significant issue arises. If we can acquire funding to revamp our financial strategy, we will effectively win the trust of stakeholders and consciously lead Bright to greener pastures. When looking at how this resolution impacts culture, one must consider the future of the culture. A financially sound company will have the capital to attract quality talent and create a secure, dependable culture for all future employees. The first step in our 8-step process for leading change is to create a sense of urgency. Cotter teaches that the 8-step process for leading change begins with inspiring people to act. The urgency is here. Bright Healthcare has less than 3 months to either acquire funding or go bankrupt. From here, we move on to step 2, building an untied coalition of people who genuinely want to see Bright Healthcare succeed financially. With the team formed, a vision of how we will lead this change must be developed. This will be done through sacrificial leadership. All the higher level executives pass on their bonuses at the end of 2022, freeing up more capital to deal with the immediate claims issues. The next step is to enlist an army of other individuals in the company who want to see this change. The tactic here would be to price our product high, thus preventing sales and the need for commissions to brokers. It will be essential to make clear to our distribution channels that we are not doing so to hurt our relationships, but to save the company from total collapse. Next, we remove barriers that prevent us from making progress. The only way to reduce spending is to reduce our market presence. This past quarter alone, we spent close to $125 million in Texas to maintain regulatory compliance. This state is too expensive and not enough return on investment. We need to pull from here for the time being. Short-term wins will result as we see our monthly spending decrease. The name of the game is sustain, sustain, sustain. We must keep our nose to the grindstone until we can see the horizon of profitability and not bankruptcy. Once we pull ourselves from the immediate pressure of going under, we will identify the connection between our new behaviors and Bright's financial stability. The first challenge will be the apparent loss of membership from markets we pull out of. This weakens our trust with our broker distribution channel, but will allow us to focus on profitable markets. Downsizing and financial reductions will raise red flags for new investors, but there was already a lack of investors from the decreasing quarterly earnings. If we can scale back our spending, we will be in a place where we won't need new investments immediately. The third challenge will be our executive team's lack of bonus payout. This will cause some turnover, but ultimately benefit those who stay because with sustainable finances comes greater monetary reward in the future. Doles and other writers found that healthcare financial stability has long-term benefits for the community and stakeholders. The first lesson learned in all of this is that slow and steady wins the race. Our organizational culture was one of avoidant conflict, but now we are moving into a workplace with a culture of inclusion. Doing this will ensure that our accounting and finance teams can address the complex numerical data and remind us that spending too much too fast will hurt Bright Healthcare in the long run. In the same sentiment, our culture will adopt a mindset of frugality and understand that executive spend reports do matter. If we want financial stability and sustainability, then we cannot spend more than we truly have. Finally, arguably the most important is the recognition of red flags. The lesson learned by management and the change that needs to be made is seeing when the numbers aren't adding up, leaning into a healthy culture to bring up these challenging issues, and managing an organizational structure that keeps these financial reports in check. I'd like to open it up to any questions you may have. Thank you very much for your time.